This is Bad Pete No with another Dyson Sphere program speed jog. In our last episode, we got to red science at the 57-minute mark. This time, we're going to try to blast all the way through to yellow science in under 2 hours. We're also going to have to dramatically increase our power output and our ability to create and use science in general. So yeah, let's get started. So we're going to load up our save. See, we got the 57-minute mark there, loading it up. Now, first thing that we're going to need to do is grab a bunch of stuff we're going to need along the way. So, really glad that we built all this stuff up. So we're going to get circuits, magnetic coils, motors, tier 2 sorters. We're going to grab some more iron, some roads, one more of these guys. Don't need all 50. There we go. And then we're going to grab some graphite, but also fix a little mistake that we had last time. We never actually connected those roads, which is why we were manually feeding those thermal generators. Not sure why they weren't being built fast enough. So we're going to need to get some coal for, I think it's drive engine 1 that we need that for. And grab some more of these guys. But I don't want multiple stacks because my inventory is a little small. Now we're going to divert some of the excess iron that comes out of that upper line and move it down to the lower line here. Grab some more wind turbines, some gatherators, and also I decided we don't need nearly as many of these, so I killed the storage for them. Now we're going to steal a little bit of iron and pop our plasma exciters, or whatever they're called, over into the refinery. And then we're going to manually feed our smelter builder. Alright, time to queue up some more science. So we're going to need fluid encapsulation, or basic chemical engineering actually. Then we're going to need drive engine 1. That's what we need that coal for. Mecha Core 2, which is a prerequisite for drive engine 2 that's going to get us off this beautiful green rock. Then hop back over to tech. We're going to need titanium smelting. And for funsies, hydrogen fuel rods. There we go. Now we're going to drop our first print of the episode, my Amazon wish list. Now, I've been trying to improve my blueprint placement accuracy. The way that I'm doing that is by including elements that already exist within the print. This helps me to line it up a little bit more perfectly. We do need to wire up a little bit of the plumbing, but first I actually want my drones to build this assembler. Because we're going to want to manually feed this. This is going to get us the research facilities that we're going to need for our next print. So plop everything that we need in there. Now I'm actually recording the audio separately because I found it was pretty distracting to try and narrate while blasting through this as fast as I could. So, you know, it does give me the foresight of knowing when I'm going to derp up. But the root cause here, I go through all the trouble to, you know, pre-fill the assembler for the research facilities. But then when I start heading over to the new build site, I actually forget to grab them. I'm going to follow my drones along, try to get them to, you know, be a little bit more productive and consume a little less energy. And I can't quite reach to fill the assembler for smelters, so I have to hop over a little bit to get a little closer. In our next episode, I'm going to try to tackle a more dedicated solution for those, because it's just the starter mall gets the job done from a, you know, minimum requirements perspective, but it certainly doesn't give me what I want. Now right there where I was hovering over that gear, it's to say I dropped this print before we have the ability to craft chemical facilities, but that's where those are going to be going. Just checking out my inventory, making sure I got the things I need, grabbing some extras, filling this bad boy up. It's also hurting on circuits. That's something else that we're gonna, after I recorded this, I figured out a solution for how to make that a little more performant. Grabbing more stuff, grabbing more things. And the reason I grabbed those motors is because we are going to need a water pump at some point. And I observed that no matter how many times in the dry run that I did this, I would always end up over there. See, this is me going back for those research facilities that I forgot. It doesn't actually hurt my time too bad, because in the end what we're really waiting on is research. But yeah, I found if I didn't grab the motors first thing, I would always forget, and I'd get halfway through the run and have to start back over because I'm just like way too far away. Now, I'm going to pause my audio here, my recording, and we're going to actually time-lapse our way over to the new build site. Alright, now we're going to drop our next build, gas and wind. And in this case we do have that oil to, you know, help us align the build. I've noticed that in every instance that I place an oil pump, it never wants to connect the road out of it. So I kind of think that's a bug with the blueprinting system, but I can't be certain of that. And then this is going to burn through a lot of that go juice. Walking around, feeding my hungry drones. Just watching my fuel gauge go down. Now we are actually going to be switching to thermal power generation for the majority of our power, but I can't say I'm a big fan of it because, you know, if our fuel source bottlenecks, or if we, you know, if they don't get fed, they can't, you know, restart themselves. So having a little bit more of a backup until, you know, and I don't know if we're going to go with accumulators in this series or not, but just having the wind as a backup, it's more reliable in my opinion. You'll note that we did drop that gatherer over by the copper. We're going to be needing it soon, and it was just, hey, I'm walking past it, might as well get it done now. And we're going to get that wired up, at least part way to where it needs to go. And it's going to need to cross over that oil line. Work the drones. If I can stay close to them when I'm not walking around too much, I actually gain a little bit of power back. But still, they're such a drain. Now we're going to drop our distant jello. And we're using the very top of that road to orient us. Now I want to get these refineries dropped and running as quickly as I can, because I'm actually going to be stealing some of their hydrogen. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure that hydrogen will actually fill me up faster than the energetic graphite. Can't have enough energy in your graphite, can ya? Alright, we're going to be able to start cranking out plastic or chemical facilities, I should say, once we get back there. We're not in a huge rush to get those cranking. There'll be more than enough. Oh, that bottom right spot that I just highlighted, that's the one the mecha will pull from first. So if you have multiple different fuel sources and you want it to use one of them first, make sure it's in that bottom right slot. Alright, this print's ready to go. All the boys are back in the hangar. Get this wrapped around here. So I can bleed off excess fuel so the lines don't clog up on me. I want to make sure that these are continuously producing red science. Now mind you, that's only going to get me like 2,000 of them. But here, now we're going to drop another print, and I'm using the top left mining machine to orient it correctly so I can get everything hugging up there just how I wanted it. And because of our 150 facility limit, I do have to do some manual wiring in a lot of these prints that we're going to be dropping tonight. Walk the line. Try to get as much producing as quickly as we can. I mean, I guess it's not really explicitly necessary because we totally don't need this much power at this point. We're just trying to buy ourselves a little bit of time. As the factory grows and expands, you're always going to need to improve your power generation capacity. It's, you know, it's quite literally part of the whole, you know, core concept of the game. Why are we building Dyson spheres? To generate more energy. You know, we're converting them into cubes and such, but that's really just, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about power consumption. That's what gets you on the Milky Way. Now we're going to be using this, stealing a little bit more hydrogen first. We're going to be using the research facility to orient us here. And there is actually no research facility in this print. We're really just using it to orient ourselves. Now, at this point, I almost aborted because I didn't think I had the materials to make up the additional furnaces I needed, but I did, so I started crafting them manually. But manually crafting while my little drones are flying around is just going to tear through my very meager power supply even faster. Not going to be doing much flying just yet.
You have received the ability to fly. Double-click the space key to lift off, and then use the arrow keys to control mecha movement.
Yes, Mr. Narrator, just because you've received an ability doesn't mean it's necessarily wise to use it that second.
Pressing the Alt key can return the mecha.
Although I could get that achievement for running out of power and dropping in the water. Now this is going to give us almost everything that we need to be rocking out that blue science, with the exception of this belt that I'm connecting up right now. Stay with me, guys. What has science done? Again, using the existing research facility to orient the print and make sure everything's going to line up perfect. And for some reason, I think it's because the facility's already there, I do have to wire up that last sorter manually. Sorters are particularly fussy with attaching to things that are already there from prints. Junk. A tidy inventory is a manageable one. Alright. Now notice we're generating 38.2 megawatts of power with our new build. Our previous power was 15. So this is going to give us a pretty significant bump. But we do have to connect it. Yeah, and see that flicker? Boom. Now we'll fly just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, maybe just a little bit more. There we go. Grab some more thermal gens. grab some more sorters, grab some more roads. And no, I'm not going to recycle the capsule. Okay, so now I can set this to produce chemical plants. Installed some storage, some furnaces. And again, this is just continuing to be a problem. And I didn't notice it at the time, but that bridge going from the circuits to the line is largely contributing to some of that lag there. Also because I'm stealing its extremely limited iron supply. This is me triple checking to make sure I didn't screw anything up and that I do have everything I need. Grab some more of those. And I need to wire along the way, because right now that's that other facility where I'm producing red is not wired into the same grid. And again, another design I don't really trust. I've got one liquid storage facility as the overflow for whatever refined oil I can't consume. So yeah, we can see we're up to 62 now. 62.8. And we are going to take that up a little bit further.
You have received the ability to sail. Double-click the space key to lift off to enter the flight mode, and keep pressing the forward direction and space keys in the flight mode. And you will enter
And
the
I
sailing mode
forgot
when you reach a certain altitude.
I forgot the oil pump. But at this point, I'm already, pretty deep in, and I don't necessarily want to kill the run. So, make a little gamble on my power reserves. Try and, come on, just give me that, there we go. Let the drones land. Try to get that thing built first. Now, another nifty trick I figured out, I needed to reduce the number of facilities in this print, and I thought, well, I can always just stamp down the refineries, and they're sharing outputs, so I actually have two different flavors in here. But then I was just able to, copy and paste the refinery along with its 3 sorters. So by doing that with 3 refineries, I actually saved myself 12 facilities on the print. So, not bad. I think that one ended up being like 148 or something like that. I gotta get the power wired up. And with this one, it is a little bit more critical that I get these producing hydrogen as absolutely quickly as possible, because I'm going to need that hydrogen before we go on. And not just to throw in my gas tank. You'll see. Making sure I got everything I need. Gonna steal just a tiny amount of it. Really, if it wasn't flying all over the place, it wouldn't be a problem. So at this point, I've got one more research before I'm not actually researching anything. And in some of my practice runs,
The data shows this is a planet
I
without
actually
natural
forgot.
titanium veins. Perhaps you can get some
No,
by
I'm
collecting
talking.
ground. If you need a massive titanium
No,
collection,
I guess he's
you need to
talking.
find a planet rich with titanium veins as soon as possible.
So at this point, I'm wondering, what other tech is it that I need for yellow jello? Oh, right. But yeah, I found forgetting to queue up that research oftentimes resulted in me blowing the time horribly. So that's why as soon as I noticed hydrogen fuel rods were starting to queue up, that's why I paused and grabbed the research. So you'll see why we're actually putting a liquid into a regular storage shortly. Connect up that line. Yeah, this is another example of kind of a fuzzy print. I think it might be because I'm using the diagonal road there, but it only dropped 2 out of the 3 mining machines that I wanted. So this is me just trying to get the last one of those in place. And then I gotta wire it up. Indecisive as to which line I want built first, but again, just trying to stay close to the drones. Walk them down the line. $62, right? 62.8. Well, watch that climb up a little bit. When the thermal gens are cooperative with you and you have a controlled, circumstance, like for example, feeding them with energetic graphene instead of a liquid that might back up on itself, they're very, very effective for early game power generation. Look at that, only 6 of them got us another 13 megawatts of power. And mind you, our main base was running off of 15 in its entirety. So, this stone is bananas. We're dropping 3 mining machines and a bunch of roads. This is why we needed that second splitter. And the reason why we're going to be gathering this stone is because, again, the only thing that I knew about this cluster before I began my first episode was the landing site. And we do have less than ideal circumstances in that the planet that we're going to be going to has titanium, but does not have silica. And as a result, we're not going to be able to get to purple science until we solve that problem. So my plan is, there's always money in the banana stand. My plan is get just enough going that I'll be able to craft up enough processors to get interstellar travel going. Alright, now we're going to wire up these roads. Yeah, they never wanted to connect. I think it was because of the slope. So I always have to cut that piece out manually and put them back in. Could have fixed the print, but I'm lazy. There's our hydrogen fuel rod research. Yeah, so the idea is I've got 10 smelters turning stone into silica, feeding 1 smelter. So that, 10 to 1 ratio is the ratio of the print, or the recipe. So get that cranking away, and hopefully it'll get us what we need to get set up with interstellar logistics in the next episode. Hopefully. But at this point, I've only just kind of begun planning for episode 5. I don't think I'm going to be trying to go all the way to purple in that episode. I think we're just going to try to get to interstellar logistics. But, we'll see. This is me also realizing I forgot to grab that sweet, sweet hydrogen. Oh, no. It's a little worse. I realized I forgot to wire up the red roads, or to get my red science up and out of the way, because otherwise it's not doing us any good. basically putting it up high enough that it won't crash into anything. Get the drones going. Come on, figure it out. There we go. And then tie it down to there. So now this will tie in and go to our original research facility. Another thing I'm looking to tackle in the next episode is to have a more scalable solution so that every time we introduce a new form of science, we're not trying to retrofit our shabby little research facility by our starter base to accommodate that. Grab a little bit more hydrogen. Now, in the next couple of minutes here, I'm actually going to be dumping my inventory. You'll notice that I just deleted my energetic graphite. That is not a mistake. It is purposeful. And I could have gone back for more hydrogen, but I felt like what I had on me was going to be sufficient for why I needed it. So now I'm going to drop down a storage facility, basically to dump out my inventory. And then I'm going to start bringing back the stuff that I actually need. So I need 161 roads, but I always grab a couple extras because I'm a little paranoid. I actually forget to at this moment and then grab them. I need 60 sorters. Get the hydrogen there so I can get rid of the stuff I don't need. I need turbines, but it's actually easier to grab a full stack and drop off the two I don't need. Now right here, I'm about to make a big old derp. I grabbed 5 of those. I actually needed 7. Fortunately, it did not cause me to have to abandon the run. Now, this is a pretty critical point of the episode, so I'm taking my time and making sure I don't derp up. Because leaving without what I need is going to result in basically having to abort the run because we're about to go off-world. And I need exactly 26 smelters. First, I gotta feed them guys. Where can I steal some iron from? I need 5 of these. Wireless towers are so overpowered. I love it. And we actually had exactly 26 in the storage, which is exactly how many we needed. So I'm counting my stacks, counting my items, completely oblivious to the fact that I'm 2 Tesla towers short. I grab the miners that I need, which is 7. And I believe at this point, just looking everything over, and then I'm going to take a short break. So I edited out that 3.5 minute break that I took, and now we're back on world, and we're going to actually empty our fuel chamber deliberately and take our first flight with an empty tank of gas. So set our indicator. Got some more research done. And then away we go. And I'm actually going to go into time-lapse mode as soon as I escape the planet's gravity.
Or planetary systems by following the arrows in the space navigation.
And now I'm actually trying to aim not for the planet itself, but where the planet will be when I get there. And going at half our max sail speed, even at 15 times, or even at 4 times the normal recording speed, this is still kind of a grind. Now we're going to crash land on the equator, and we're heading toward a specific formation of 2 titanium and a copper near the North Pole. And I'm going to check our alignment a couple of times to make sure that we're going in as straight of a line as possible to minimize fuel consumption while we walk over there. We're going to hop back out of time-lapse mode right about now-ish. There we go. And if I can figure out where I put the blueprints, actual clean energy. And come on, figure out where you want it. It's not that meridian. Or whatever you call the multiple lines of latitude. Oh, there. That's where it's supposed to go. Now what's neat about this is I start at the copper and I walk myself down while the drones burn up the last of my energy, creating wind turbines. And then this is why I say wireless charging is so OP. Even with only a few wind turbines, it kicks me up pretty quick.
Caused by its longer connection distance. What's exciting is that it can also charge mecha by using electricity from the grid.
Yes, Mr. Narrator, I find that exciting too. Again, same blueprint alignment trick we've been using. And at this point, I'm still not aware of my horrible mistake because it's not part of this blueprint. Basically, I want to get these smelting as quickly as I possibly can. I don't want to hang out here too terribly long, although in practice I probably could have stayed a little bit longer. But I want to get them cooking up as much titanium as possible, get some of that good soap before we head back. Because what I have is what we're going to have, what I leave here with is what we're going to have available to us until the next time we go off the world, which is a major time sink. So I don't want to do it until I have interstellar logistics. The next time I come back here will be to automate sending these materials back home. Run the fuel down, getting those wind turbines up. This is far more turbines than I actually need to run that little mining operation. And it's largely just so that the mining doesn't grind to an absolute halt while I'm recharging my mech. Come on, kids. There we go. I actually thought about trying to fly there, but then it occurred to me if I completely run out of power, it'll slow my walking speed even worse. Look how fast that goes up. And we're actually overtaxing the grid. It's running pretty hot right now. See? Starting to produce. And so am I. Now this is not going to get us particularly far. It's only going to get us a few rods, which we're going to try to milk through next episode. And then we've got one more print to drop on this rock. Green soap from another world. I probably should have used that nearby turbine to orient myself, but at this point I realize the error of my ways. I'm missing 2 Tesla towers, and I consider aborting the run at this point, but we're pretty far in, so I kind of don't want to waste all that time. It's really frustrating to have to keep restarting. So I decide, you know what, heck with it. I've got the materials on the planet that I need. All I need is iron and copper. And manual mining is not beneath me. So I decide that, we will keep the run going. Because otherwise I would not be building right now. I would have already hit quit. And at this point, okay, time to solve this problem. Except, I'm coming up with a plan on the fly, and I actually end up screwing it up again. Because those are not Tesla towers. But I just can't get it through my head. What I also fail to realize is that my fabricator is still running on producing those hydrogen fuel rods. But I actually don't need it cleared out just yet. Still haven't noticed. Not only am I producing the wrong thing, but it's not generating yet. This is the point at which I realize, oh, I'm still making hydrogen fuel rods. But I still haven't gotten it through my head that I'm making wind turbines and not Teslas. But I'm figuring, you know, I got time to kill anyway while I wait for some titanium to smelt. So it actually kind of makes sense to, you know, take the time, not abandon the run for it. Then I also just increase the storage there. The extra storage that I did bring the right number of storage containers, but they just weren't part of the original prints, and I didn't want to rebuild the print. Now at that point, I realized the error of my ways, and fortunately I still have enough materials gathered up to make the two things. And then this is me thinking somehow I was going to line up, you know, my audio perfectly and have some witty thing to say, but I didn't. And then just watch how fast this takes up my power. And see, it is kind of hurting the grid. You can see, like, we're overloading, you know, pretty significantly. But not enough that I'm really nerfing those mining machines too bad. I thought it was a good trade-off. It's really just, that's how many turbines I could really fit practically with 2 prints. I might have been able to squeeze a few more in there, but, you know, there's 48 of them down there. It's good. I think at that point I was also trying to zoom out and demonstrate the fact that there's no silica on this planet, only to realize, oh wait, that's right, I never actually unlocked universal exploration. I only ever do that in my development cycles, and then in the actual run I don't ever have that unlocked. So I'm gonna get rid of the junk that I don't need. Might as well squeeze 2 more fuel rods out of that. Take one last look. Set the indicator. Now, one thing I'm always cautious of early game when I've got limited fuel source, because I don't want to get screwed up by the gravity of the gas giant and bomb my landing. Because I don't save fuel to decelerate usually. I specifically try to aim for the planet and crash land into it. So as soon as I get up there, I'm going to pause our audio again, get oriented. We've escaped the gravity of the planet, and now we're going to cut the recording and go back into time lapse. So I have 56 hydrogen fuel rods, which is not a ton. And with the exception of what I do for the remainder of this episode, we are going to try to conserve them. And I love this little splash landing that we're going to be doing in a second here. We're now exiting time-lapse mode back into regular time, but it kind of feels a little bit like, you know, we're MLG water bucketing here. Donk. I love it. Okay, now we're trying to figure out which way is home. I seem to have figured it out. And this is me just wasting hydrogen fuel rods when I totally could have walked. Now again, the critical factor that's going to impact our final runtime for this episode is not how fast we can build this stuff at this point. We are ahead of schedule, so what's actually going to kill us on time here is going to be waiting for that 800 research to count down. And I do too little too late think to maybe like manually craft some blue cubes and try to like get some red cubes in my inventory to speed it up. But I find that manual research is not really much of a boost, so and then I remember, oh yeah, walked past all the stuff we need because I'm super excited to go build more. So wasting time, wasting fuel, mostly wasting fuel. My inventory is now full because I forgot to drop off the platinum, so let's waste some more fuel. But we're rich. We're just making it rain hydrogen fuel rods. We're running on fuel rods on a coal burner's budget. So I got 2,046 titanium to work with, which is not a lot, but I did the math and it is actually going to be enough research for next episode. And hopefully enough research and enough to get the different things that we're going to need for interstellar travel. But we will have to be pretty conservative with the titanium. But considering that you get 6 fuel rods for 1 yellow science worth of titanium, I can afford to probably make a few more fuel rods, but I just want to be conservative with it in general. So at this point I should have everything I need to continue on with the builds. So what do we need first? Come on, think it through. The earlier portions of the runs, I'm always so much more precise because I constantly have to restart, and so, for every 50 times that I do the first 5 minutes of this, I've made it to this point. 2, 3 times. So this nifty little facility is going to produce our plastics. And I do have to actually make a manual alteration to it because it's technically in the way of our next print. And I always forget where I can put that thing that it's not going to be in the way. And this is me just kind of standing around thinking like, what am I supposed to do next? Oh wait, that's right. That was another run breaker, me wondering, why is it that I'm not getting any fuel in these guys? Yeah, at least 2 or 3 practice runs. I forgot to wire up the refined petroleum. Instant jello. This is me second guessing myself. It needs to go there. Yep, we're in the right spot now. And then I'm gonna have to manually wire up one sorter that's gonna turn, we're gonna go cold graphite to diamond. And that was where those 2 blueprints conflicted, and I didn't feel like, trying to recreate the prints, so. And again, we're almost done with the build here, and we've still got, 5/8 of our research to complete. So we're probably going to go into time-lapse mode to take the episode out once everything's fully crafted. Or once everything's fully built, I suppose. And one thing that this print does not include is that we are not capping that yellow storage at all. We're just letting it produce whatever it wants. There's that water pump I always forget about. Glad I had the motors. But yeah, at the beginning of next episode, one of the first things that we're going to do is cap that to only be able to grab as many yellow cubes as we actually want to produce, because we're going to be dumping all of our platinum into here, which is not a super smart idea when there are tons of other things we need it for besides research. I keep calling it platinum. It's not platinum, it's titanium. 50 bars of gold pressed platinum. Look at that. 75 megawatts. Not too bad, not too bad. And at this point, I'm kind of like, what am I gonna... Oh no, I'm still actually doing stuff and things. Yep, figure it out. Figure out where it goes. And then I think, oh, it needs to go where the platinum goes. Nope. Titanium, not platinum. And I'm super triggered that it's off by one row, but I decide to accept it. You know, it's a speed jog. We can't take things so seriously. It's a game, you know? Gotta take it casually. It's like, why am I doing this in the first place? I like a good challenge. I'm having fun with it. You know, it's not like I'm getting millions of views. It's not like I've got, you know, I think at the time of recording I have 9 subscribers, several of which are from when I, you know, recorded Dragon City Wiki videos, or videos for the Dragon City Wiki like 9-10 years ago, something like that. So, you know, I'm doing this for my amusement, and I must say, I'm quite amused. And now, we're literally just playing the waiting game for like half that research. So at this point, too little too late, it does dawn on me that I could, you know, waste some more hydrogen and, you know, rods, and I could speed this process up a little bit if I started making these guys manually. So I opt to grab 150 because I don't think I'm going to be able to use a ton more than that. Because again, I've got to craft up what I need in the interim, because it won't manually research if you don't have all of the research materials. So I count out 150. Then I do a little inventory cleanup, and at this point we literally just wander around for a while. So I'm going to pause the audio, and then we're going to go into time-lapse mode. Probably should have planned something in advance, productive, that I could have done with this time, but this is actually the best run that I've ever done it in. Even the ones where I screwed up and thought, okay, well, this is where I'm at, but I missed this one thing that just botched it, like I forgot the water pump or something. I shaved a good 15 minutes off of my typical average time in this episode. You know, but sometimes you got to play the waiting game. You can't plan for everything. At this point, I'm literally just waiting for the screenshot for when it happens, counting down what little research is left. But it does occur to me, oh, I could set myself up a little wireless power station. That's productive. You know, sip off the grid. I'm going to need to start not wasting as many fuel rods. And, oh, there it is. It's unlocked. Line it up. Wait for the selfie. Save the game. After yellow science, and there it is. So yeah, we'll be back in the next episode. Again, I am not bold enough to think that we're going to make it all the way to purple, but we're going to do what we can, and I'm thinking getting to interstellar logistics is probably plausible, but yeah, such a pretty game too. So thanks for watching.